Hi everyone, time for another video. If you remember, we're currently working on our TrailingStop script, or it's a script at the moment, but we're going to change it to an EA at some point. We're just refining the code at the moment, and it may seem a bit pointless because it's basically working already. But I want to get across to you the fact that organizing your code in a very modular, functional way, it will pay dividends in the long run because it makes your code more usable. You can take functions and use them in different bits and things like that, and it makes it much easier to read and things. Okay, so bear with me. Right, so just go over the code at the moment. We've got this nice simple one-line function, modified trailing stop. If we go into that, that loops through all the orders, checks we can select it, and it's one that's in the chart, and then calculates the new stop level and tries to modify it. Now I just want to factor out one more bit of functionality, which is this modifying the order stuff here. Okay, because then it's going to make it even more readable, and it's right. Logically it makes sense to me. So what I'm going to do is write a new function, which is modify order stop loss. Okay, and it's going to take an order ticket as an input and a stop loss as an input. Okay, so those are two things you're going to pass it. So you give it the ticket, which uniquely identifies the order, and you're going to say this is the stop loss I want to have for it. Okay, and then what it's going to do is do the order modification. Right now, I'll just show you what right. Right, so I'm taking that bit of code there. So it tries to yes, good point. First thing I need to do is I'm handing in the ticket. Now you'll be able to get away with just writing it like that, okay? But it doesn't make for good programming. The reason is the following: this bit of code here assumes that the ticket the order's been selected by this order select command up here, because it's relying on order ticket, order open price, etc., all to be correct. Okay. Now, it's not good programming practice to start making assumptions that something that the caller has to have done before calling the thing. Okay. It doesn't make it so modular. So what I'm going to do is an order select here. Okay. So all I'm going to assume is that that order ticket is correct. Okay. So I'm going to take the ticket. And you want select by ticket, okay? In fact, what I'll do is check this works. If it selects by ticket, then what I'm going to do is try and modify it, okay? So now I've selected it by the ticket, so even if none of that above stuff was done, as long as the ticket's correct, then this will be true, and then we know all these things are true. The stop loss we've passed in there, so we're going to set that. If it doesn't work, I'm still going to put my alert. Otherwise, oops, didn't mean to do that. Stop it. Thank you. Right. Oh, it is right. Sorry, there we are. Otherwise, I'm going to return true because this has worked. Okay. So, just got to follow the logic through. If you manage to select it correctly, and try and modify it. If we don't modify it, it doesn't alert. If we do modify it, it returns true. And then if we failed for some reason, either because we haven't managed to select it or because the alerts come up, then I'm going to return false. So what this means is this function will return true if it successfully modified the stop loss, and will return false otherwise. Okay, so that's good to know. Right, so now what I can do is the following. So process long order. Now what I need to write is modify order stop loss. I just need to give it the ticket. It's the only thing it needs. Order, because my typing's all over the shop today. Order ticket and the stop loss, which we've calculated. Right. And we also need to say, right, so if this is true, then I'm going to set success to true. Okay, so that's now what it's going to look like, and I'm going to tidy up one more step here. Right, so I'm going to write it like this because it just looks neater. so everything's shifted out for one. All right, so let's do this. You'll see what I'll just let me finish the typing, and then I'll explain what I'm doing in case you haven't worked it out. Right, and now these just need to be indented properly. And this shouldn't exist anymore. Right, just check I've done all this correctly. There's a for loop there. If there, else there, if... no, that's not right. I've deleted a bit. Okay. I need this corresponding bit. You can tell I'm doing this on the fly. There, right, so this should now be cell. And get trailing stop level, this should be -1 because it's a short. Right, okay, so sorry about that, I was all over the shop there. Right, so that to me looks quite nice now. Okay, see, it's nicely indented, but also it's easy to read. You know, and it says modify auto stop loss. You understand what that means, and then all the functionality, the details about how you do it is one function. The get trailing stop levels in another function. So it all looks much better. Let's compile it. That's all right. Just double check I haven't destroyed it as I'm getting on. Let's just stick with it on a 15-minute chart. Okay, just on a demo, just double check that. Let's just buy one of those and find my third script and 5-bar trail. Okay, it should set the yeah, it sets it there because remember the current bar hasn't finished yet, so it's the 5th bar back. Yeah, good. Okay, so it's all still working. Let's just have a summary of the function there. It's all looking quite nice now. I think we're probably at the stage now where we'll move it over to an EA, and then we've got a few more modifications. But it's looking quite neat now and all ready to go. Okay, so as always, any questions or comments, do let me know. I apologise for the slight rambling nature of this, but we're getting there. Okay, thanks then. Bye for now.